Flosstube. My name is Mariam. My pronouns are she, her. You may know me as Marroomycrafts on Instagram or MarroomyDesigns on Gumroad. This is my Flosstube Extra. It's where I share my new designs, and today it's a really special design that I'm sharing with you. It's so special that I did not wait to model stitch it because it was off time, and it was really emotional for me, the whole process of designing, and I wanted to share it with you. And I asked the community and they responded that go ahead and release it with just a mock-up. So that's what we're going to do today. I'm here to talk about the design because every single part of it is symbolic and has a meaning behind it, so I would like to share all of those with you. So first, let me share the design. I'm gonna actually insert a photo of it as well here. So as you see, this is larger than my usual designs. Its name is Sepideh. Sepideh in Persian is a name for girl, and it means the first light before the sunrise. So it's the light that breaks the darkness of the night and brings morning. So as you see, this is a woman who has within her the light. So she's the bringer of light. Actually, I was intending to design a pattern for winter solstice, or Yalda as we call it in Farsi, and we celebrate that night of for rebirth of light. So this is the celebration of the longest night of the year, and it's also celebration of rebirth of light because the days that comes after that night are getting longer and longer. So and the night will get shorter and shorter. So it's sort of like it has in it the promise of a spring and warmer days and better days to come. So I always liked that holiday. It had a special meaning to me because I personally deal with anxiety and depression, and in my darkest nights I always remember that no matter how dark the night is, the light usually follows it, and the next day sun will rise. So it started with that. I intended to design a pattern for Yalda, which include all the symbolism of that. One of the symbols of Yalda is pomegranate. So there is a pomegranate tree right here. Let me make it bigger. So that's the pomegranate tree in the design. It has a half pomegranate on top, so you can see the little beads in it. So pomegranate in Iranian literature and art symbolizes rebirth. It's also known as fruit of heaven, and the legend has it that even though this fruit is now grown on earth, still one bit of it will be heavenly. So ever since I was a little, that was like a practice that you never let any bits of pomegranate go to waste. You eat it all because the hope is for you to eat that heavenly piece. So yes, so I included a pomegranate tree here, of course. The woman that I designed looked way different at the beginning because of course it was supposed to be representing Yalda night and that night alone, but at the time went on, it turned into something more with the start of the uprising and everything that happened recently in Iran, with women of Iran rising up and asking for their freedom, and their struggle that has been going on for years and years and years. It's before my time on earth. So for the past decades, they have been struggling to gain their freedom, and in various periods, like their time, there have been several times that there have been uprising in different ways, or there has been like major demonstrations against that. But there is a mandated dress code in Iran, which includes the headscarf and hijab. Hijab is my choice, but as a woman who values freedom, I value the fact that it should be a choice, and I have the choice here in US because I live in a country that I don't have to follow any strict rules when it comes to clothing, so I can choose it on my own. But women in Iran don't have that choice, and I didn't have that choice when I lived there, and it wasn't something that I had to like think about it. It was something that was forced on everyone, and they had to follow, and still do. So here on the border, it's what's in Farsi called gulnar, or nargol, which is the flower of pomegranate tree. So let me enlarge it so you see it. So that's the border. This is the nargol. So it literally translates to flower of fire, and I found it really fitting because in my mind, all women, Iranian women, are flowers of fire. There are forged in fire, and have that fire in them. They're really strong, and strongest women I've known. And I'm really proud to be part of that tribe and coming from that heritage, and having that guide me in my future and every action I take. At the bottom of the design, there is a half verse. Yeah, so at the bottom it says, صبح صادق ندمد تا شب یلدا نرود, which is a verse by Sa'di, one of the biggest Iranian poets. The full verse says, باد آسایش گیتی نزند بر دل ریش صبح صادق ندمد تا شب یلدا نرود, which translates to, the wind of universe's comfort and calm will not mend one's broken heart. Break of dawn only comes after the darkest night. Yalda is gone. So I found this really fitting because we all know to gain your freedom, you need to struggle part of it. And women of Iran and people of Iran have been struggling for a really long time, and this is basically what they're doing. And the hope is that these dark days will lead into a bright future. So that's the hope. That's why people persevere. So she is of light. She's bringer of light. Her hair is classic Iranian wavy hair, and on top of her head I thought it's fitting to add a crown, a half crown of light. So yeah, it's dark night, but she is of light, and she is bringing the promise that after this night there will be a sun that comes up. So yeah, this is Sepideh. It's 164 by 260. It's the biggest design that I have made so far, and I'm really proud of it. I hope that you like it as well. I share with you the story as Yalda as well, and the symbolism of it. So the legend has it that the forces of evil were taking over the world, and the nights were getting darker and longer. So people gather and they pray for this darkness to break. and for someone to become their champion and basically fight it back. Bijan, who's the champion of light in Iranian mythology, volunteered, and he and his army went to war with darkness, and like the final battle is on like Yalda night, which is the darkest and longest night. So Bijan asked people to gather on the longest night of the year on Yalda and to keep the fire lit, and to sit together and tell a story and keep the night alive until morning, hoping that the sun will rise and there will be victorious, which is exactly what happened. And that is why we basically celebrate the rebirth of light, because when the sun rose that day, it was after Bijan was victorious, and the light came back, the sun came back basically. And after that, the days gone longer and longer until we have spring. So it's a nice story that I always go back to when I have low moments, for sure. And that was the basis of my design. So I hope you like it. You can find it on my Gumroad. This is one of the designs one of the two that I'm going to be releasing this year that will not be offered for free. But if you really like to stitch it and you really don't have the means to buy the pattern, reach out to me. You can find me on Instagram. You can email me. My email is in the description box below always, so you can contact me directly and we can figure something out for sure. I like to see your progresses. I will be stitching this myself. I have picked a couple of options for the fabric. I'm going to be stitching it on dark blue, modeled so it looks like night sky. And actually one of the fabrics that I chose, the name is Night Sky. And I'm going to see if I can stitch this with metallics. I know it will be a great undertaking because it's a big project, and stitching with metallic is not the easiest thing to do, but I like to keep this as special as it can be. And I think if there is a pattern that I would suffer the trouble of stitching in metallic for, it will be this one. So yeah, so here she is again, Sepideh. Please like, subscribe, leave me a comment, and also more than anything, keep the conversation going. People of Iran is struggling, and it's not something that will go away today or tomorrow. This will be a lengthy process, and it's not gonna be resolved overnight. What is important is for us who are overseas and far away from them to keep the conversation going and the discussion alive, so we don't forget them. It's really easy in this day and age with all the information that is like, we're flooded with information about everything that's happening in the world all the time, that it's really easy for these kind of news that are from far away lands to get mixed up and missed and forgotten. So let's not forget them. And we don't have a way to donate to the struggle directly because of the sanctions that are placed on Iran, and because of that, there was no way for us to donate to anyone on the ground. And be wary of anyone who says they will, and if there is an organization or group that are collecting money saying that they will transfer that directly to Iran, be really wary of it. Will not trust any organization just because they say they would do the thing they say they do. Instead, think locally. There are so many organizations that are working with people on the ground locally with in your cities. You'll be surprised how many people, women, girls, femme presenting people who have been dealing with a lot of issues and with a lot of limitations left and right, even in countries and societies that are really open on the surface and they're really welcoming and secular, they're still struggling a lot. So it's really important to offer support also for those who leave the country and now they need support as refugees. This is something that is a real issue, and they are stranded, they don't know the language, they don't know the country, they don't have any skills right off the bat to be able to acclimate to the new society really quickly. So it's really important to offer our support and donate to those organizations instead. All right, so I hope you like the pattern. Go to my Gumroad. I have everything linked below. You can find my pattern ready to be purchased there. If you have any questions, any concerns, anything you want to discuss, feel free to either email me or leave it in the comment. All right, happy stitching and have a nice day.